Hi, I have a story to tell. It's just sort of something I've been going through for the last, almost like a month and a half, going on 2 months now. And a couple of you have actually even said that they saw that I didn't seem like myself. And plus you've maybe noticed that I haven't put up as many videos and so forth. Well, a whole bunch has been happening, even more than what I'm gonna tell you. But anyway, this is my story and I just wanted to share, and my daughter is absolutely fine with it. She is very open with this type of a thing. So here we go. Basically, yes, my daughter is still working on getting over her COVID-19 positive test that she had and her symptoms and so forth. So let me just give you a general rundown of the story. I'm not going to give exact dates and all this stuff. I'm just going to give you the general rundown. End of October, she started feeling sick, just a regular sick, nothing bad, just sort of run down, a little bit of a sore throat, stomach not feeling terribly well, but nothing major whatsoever. Okay, that was like I said, the very end of October, and then like the following week, she just sort of was feeling more and more tired and so forth. And she sort of started feeling a little shortness of breath and thought, okay, I should get tested. Talked to her doctor's office. They said, yes, get tested. So she went to get tested for the coronavirus and it was negative. So she's like, okay. So that weekend she slept and slept and slept and slept and slept. And still really no fever, no shortness of breath or coughing that was any major issue. I mean, it could have just sort of been a little bit from feeling under the weather, nothing major, just not feeling well and feeling very tired. But she got tested negative and they, they said, well, you don't really have any symptoms of anything else major, just do your best. So she was back to work and people were telling her she looked like death and, that kind of thing. And she couldn't hardly even make it through the day and hold her head up. So after that week or whatever of just trying to do the best she could and her symptoms not getting any better, she tested again. The doctor's office has said, yeah, this could definitely be COVID, get tested again. So she did. It was negative. So she's like, okay. So they put her on a steroid, they gave her an inhaler, they put her on a round of antibiotics, just trying to catch anything possible that it could be, but nothing really pointed to anything specific. So with 2 negative tests, it's all good, right? So she sleeps and sleeps and sleeps and sleeps again as many hours as she can over the weekend and stuff. By the way, during this whole thing, she's in her last semester of getting her master's degree. So she's also doing classes and trying to work full time when she could, but taking half days here and there just because she was so exhausted, that kind of thing. So anyway, after that week, when she happened to walk in to coworkers basically saying, oh my gosh, she's not okay. What's going on? And they were a little nervous. And she's like, yeah, okay, whatever, talk to her doctor's office again. And they sent her to an emergency room because this whole time the doctor's office won't see you. They actually will not even physically see you. It's just phone visits. The only people that will actually see you if you exhibit any type of possible coronavirus symptoms would be the emergency rooms and the urgent care. So they sent her to the urgent care and she spent some time in there, got a chest x-ray, actually a CT scan of her lungs. They were going to try to look at her heart, but for whatever reason they didn't at the time. By this time she's waking up with heart pounding, her heart just pounding in the middle of the night, just waking up with that. And her temperature raised, not ever really into the fever zone, but higher than usual, and her blood pressure higher. So it was starting to really get to her heart and she was exhausted all the time. She went to the urgent care and they did a CT scan on her lungs and they did see that she had little micro nodules on her lungs at that point in time. So like, well, that could be, possibly from any respiratory thing you've had or possibly this, whatever. They tested her for flu and for, everything that they could possibly test her for. And they did give her another COVID test. So this would be the 3rd test. Well, then that one came back positive. We're like, no way, how is the 3rd one positive? So anyway, we, of course, after she tested positive, we completely quarantined basically our whole family or anybody who lives here. She lives at the house with us. I immediately got tested. I tested negative, but she was living pretty much on the top floor of the house. I was pretty much doing the main floor of the house. She stayed in her room the entire time. If she ever came out, she was masked, gloves, came to the kitchen to do something or whatever. We hosed it down, basically, just cleaned like crazy. None of us ended up getting anything. So we are okay. But yes, 2 weeks, total quarantine. I didn't leave the house. She didn't leave the house. Yeah, that kind of thing. So that all was done. Very scary. I can't even begin to tell you as a mother how scary that is. Just terrifying to see your 29-year-old daughter, who is very active and very physically fit and, did competitive horseback riding and jumping and, which is a very, very, it's a strength thing. So to see her not even be able to like get up and walk across the room without having to just sort of sit down and having her heart pounding out of her chest and her blood pressure like crazy and, that whole kind of a thing, terrifying. So anyway, 10 days after she tested positive, they said she wouldn't be contagious anymore, and if she was feeling better, she could go back to work. Well, she wasn't, and she was still experiencing a lot of fatigue. She never lost her taste of smell or taste, of food. Just still all very kind of mild type symptoms, a bit of a headache, but the heart pounding, the fatigue, like I say, some headaches, some a little bit of stomach upset and pain, but nothing major ever. Tiny sore throat, but that kind of went away after the beginning. Nothing that just, screamed a specific thing, but she did test that positive. So at this point, she's supposedly not contagious, but she was unable to function. So she stayed home from work a little bit longer. And that was kind of how that was going. And so as time went by, let's see, it was about 3 weeks, about 3 weeks after she had tested positive, she was still not doing well. The doctor's office said, go to the emergency room, just go straight there. They're going to be the only ones that can just kind of do everything and test everything and see what's going on, especially look at your heart to see if there's any fluid retention there or any inflammation or whatever. And so she was in the emergency room for over 7.5 hours, and I was pacing the floor. I didn't know if they'd admit her. I couldn't go with her. They wouldn't, of course, let me in. I was terrified that they would admit her and I wouldn't be able to be there with her, and heaven knows what would happen after that, etc. So as a mom, I was losing my mind. I was just pacing the floor, literally. I didn't even know what to do with my own hands. So that was rough. And she was in constant contact with me, though, with her phone. And here's a cute picture of her. She took of herself there. But 7.5 hours later, they gave her every test under the sun, another, like lung x-rays and CAT scans and EKGs and everything they could. And everything turned out to be normal enough that they basically declared that she is a long hauler, which means that normally people have symptoms that then they're done in like 10 to 14 days and they're better, they're not contagious, etc. They pretty much declared that she is not contagious anymore, but she still is exhibiting symptoms. And that generally, it's been happening quite a bit apparently with people her age too, for some reason. But anyway, she happened to be one of those. So that was terrifying yet again to think, okay, is she going to then have long lasting, forever problems from this? Whatever, we still don't know for sure. But that was terrifying. So they basically sent her home with another round of steroids. They gave her a nebulizer for breathing and told her to rest, just rest. And they helped her set up the Family Medical Leave Act thing with her work. And so that she's been working with them to get that started and with her doctor's office, so that she is actually on a medical leave right now from work. And every day they basically told her to rest as much as possible, yet get some fresh air, try to exercise your lungs a little bit. On days you're feeling better than others, try to get a little bit of exercise, take a small walk, whatever. Just try to build up your strength. And we'll see how it goes week by week. So she is on that medical leave. She is doing that. And I'd say probably within maybe 5 days of her almost sleeping nonstop, she started to feel a little bit better. She was having less of the heart pounding thing, and she could take a small walk. The first time we took a walk together, it was literally like 10 minutes of a slow stop and start with Gracie sniffing, that kind of thing. And she went home and slept for 5 hours after that. It was just like almost overdid her. But then a few days after that, she could do it and felt better. She was doing a few little ballet routine exercise things that she has done throughout the years. And she was able to do that without completely, feeling annihilated. So slowly but surely, we think she's on the mend. She has less days where her temperature rises and her blood pressure is staying more to the normal now. She doesn't wake up with the heart palpitations and, pounding as much as she has before. In general, she's got a little bit more energy, although for the last 2 days, she's pretty much done nothing but sleep. some days, I mean, she's got good days and bad days, and I'm hoping that gets better and better and better as time goes on, and there's fewer days that are her, I just can't do anything but sleep days. That's what I'm still, concerned about, that there will be long-lasting ramifications of all this, but it looks like she is on the mend, and I can breathe a little easier now. And just if you've got a prayer in there for you, I'd really appreciate it. By the way, a couple videos ago, I mentioned that she is graduating, and she did finally finish. She missed her last class, her last grad class, because she was in the ER at that time, but the professor was so sweet about it. And that was okay. And she got to look at the stuff that she missed during the class and whatever, and then got all the information for her final project. So she's been working on that when she's had the energy to do so. And that is finally turned in, and she is officially graduated with a master's. So we are so incredibly, incredibly proud of her to have gone through all this during this time, etc. And Saturday we are having a little, it's just, my husband, her sister, you know what I mean? Not like people. And I rented a cap and gown for her, and she's going to just put that on for pictures. Cause she couldn't walk in the ceremony, whatever, but a few videos ago I mentioned this, and I asked if people could possibly, maybe send a few cards or something to her. And you guys, oh my gosh, I just went to my P.O. box the other day, and there was a stack of cards like this big. I was in tears. I was just so overwhelmed with the love, the outpouring of love you've given her. And you didn't even know she had COVID during this. Just that she had been working hard and graduated, and, while doing a full-time job and stuff, and got her master's. So you have no idea how much that meant to me, to know that you guys cared enough to put a card in the mail for her for that. I cannot thank you enough. I swear you guys are the very, very best out there. Thank you. So anyway, Saturday, we're just having our little get together. Just family, husband, sister, that kind of thing, her, whatever. We're going out to eat at a restaurant. It's outside. It's in one of those like igloo things. It's like see-through. It's got a heater to it. And we're going to go eat dinner. I have not eaten out anywhere since like March, except for one place outside. So this will be so incredibly exciting. And it's the people that we're already with all the time anyway. And yeah, we're so excited to go eat out, and it's supposed to snow maybe that day, so maybe we'll see the snowfall. I don't know, it's gonna be cold. We're gonna wear, they say bring blankets, so it should be fun. Anyway, that's what we're going to do, and that will be her celebration, and she'll open the cards, and we'll get a picture of her with her cap and gown and stuff, and we'll be celebrating the fact that we believe she's out of the woods, and we believe she's getting better and better every single day. I hope. That's still not a given yet, but it's looking like that will happen. And so I felt comfortable enough to share this with you guys, because you guys are, like I say, you're the absolute best. I have no words to say how much I appreciate all your care, all your concern, all your love, all your wonderful comments. You're the best, the absolute best. I love you, love you, love you. You're wonderful. So thank you so much for always being there for me, always understanding, being the sweetest people in the entire world. And I just felt the need to share the story with you, to just so you know a little bit more about what's been going on here. And it's still going, but I think things are okay. Thank you so much. Love you to pieces. Talk to you later. Bye.